Hey everyone, it's Kiki and we are back with another theory video. A day or two ago, hopefully by the time I've finished this recording and editing, I released my own theory on the Yarnaby trailer that just came out. We're going to react to Tericho's video like I've done before, and I'm going to be giving my own thoughts, but definitely go and check out his channel. He is an amazing theorist. I say this every time, and go and support him. As I said, like, he's said on one of my other videos that he's perfectly okay for me to react to his videos. Obviously not stealing content. I'm not sitting here going, this is my video that I made. So the video we're watching is Tericho's. It all belongs to him. I will have his channel and this video linked down in the description, but we're gonna do another little reaction to his theory on the Yarnaby trailer, which I have already done. That will be linked in the description below as well. But let's see what Tericho has to say.
The latest Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 teaser dropped today, and not only might this be the creepiest trailer we've had for this game yet, but it also gives us some massive clues about...
Now Yarnaby's cute.
While this trailer might only be 2 minutes long, it reveals quite a lot. It shows us who these hidden eyes belong to, it reveals a brand new toy to the series,
Yarnaby.
and it also deepens a mystery that started before Chapter 3.
Oh, right, yeah.
But despite all that, this trailer might not be exactly as it seems.
I agree.
This trailer picks up where Chapter 3 left off. We see the lift we are on rapidly descending while we hear Poppy in the distance. Now this is already kind of suspicious. You can hear Poppy's voice lines from the end of Chapter 3 muffled in the distance. These line up exactly to what Poppy said before the end credits in the last chapter.
We're coming! Just hold on! Go faster!
That still gives me goosebumps.
That doesn't make any sense. We were with Poppy when she said those lines, and we were heading back up to Kissy in that moment. So why would these voice lines be muffled and far away like this? Well, taking a closer look at the elevator, and it's not the same one we were on in Chapter 3. The gap here is much bigger than the one on our lift, and the console in the middle is missing. The elevator shaft also looks a bit smaller than the one that we were in. Now this is either a huge oversight in this trailer, or this is a different lift with a different person. Considering that they aren't shown to have our grab pack hands either, I'm guessing this trailer is showing someone else.
That is true.
Someone else?
I was about to say someone else in the factory.
Now, this would be very interesting if you consider the fact that we've had huge hints that Harley Sawyer is still, in some form, alive inside the factory. We've seen that the ARG up until this point has hinted towards Harley being the big bad of this chapter, and likely the whole series. We also saw that this area was on complete lockdown until we supplied it with power at the end of Chapter 3. So my guess is that this trailer is actually showing Harley arriving here before us, hence why we can hear Poppy in the distance. In fact, now that I think about it, Kissy being attacked seems like a great distraction.
He's got to... If this is Harley arriving, which is plausible, it might... Thanks, Tericho. It might cancel out my theory that Yarnaby is on his side. Maybe Yarnaby didn't attack us because it's not us in the trailer. If it is Harley, Yarnaby might be on his side, which is why he didn't attack. Time to do another theory.
Enough time for Harley to get down here before we do. More on this later though, because the ending of the trailer becomes very interesting with this theory in mind. Now this mystery character arrives in the location we will visit in Chapter 4. We can see the red smoke has been restored here, flowing through these giant pipes. This was the last thing that we did before boarding the elevator with Poppy. Now Chapter 3 implied that this red smoke was used as the power supply, as the areas we diverted the gas to became powered. I mean, gas can be used as a power source, and they were clearly making a lot of it, so it makes sense. But this also implies that this area has been completely without power in this time. With how many dead toys we see down here, this is probably going to be the most nightmarish part of the factory yet. If you thought the giant toys were scary, imagine them hunting you in complete darkness.
What's terrifying about this thought as well, like, you see the piles and piles of dead toys, but the terrifying thought is also, if there are piles and piles of dead toys but they're not all dead, how do we figure out which ones are alive and which ones aren't?
Speaking of hunting you, we see huge piles of dead toys. We saw these in the previous teaser trailer, but these really show the extent of this toy graveyard. Now, we don't know how many of these toys were living experiments, but it really does imply that the death toll was much higher than we previously thought.
Yep.
But not only that, the games have been implying that there are still people to be saved, and we have assumed that they've been locked down here. But now I'm really struggling to see how anything aside from the toy experiments could survive down here in the dark. But as this mystery figure continues, we can see that they are being watched, or hunted. This creepy creature skitters around the dead toys, and at one point we can even hear it breathing as it watches the intruder. This creature is revealed to be a bigger body, easily crushing this Poe beneath their feet.
That's
But
the
then
Poe.
looking again at this pile of toys,
Maybe it
and
is.
It really does show the
I don't know though.
But we actually see that killing this Poe was done for a reason. At the end of the trailer, we see the recently killed Poe on top of this TV.
Okay, that is the same.
Now, these eyes on the TV are super creepy. They really do look like something out of Little Nightmares. But as the mystery figure approaches, the eye turns red, almost as if the TV has spotted them. Maybe a hint to a future mechanic. I kind of hope so. As they hear something move, they turn around, and out of the darkness, we finally get our reveal of who those eyes belong to.
Yarnaby!
Yarnaby. Now, I don't know about you, but when I heard a toy made of yarn, I wasn't expecting it to be so terrifying. Looking at the toy design, and Yarnaby looks
he's
like
cute.
he fits with Daisy.
Just quickly going to cover the idea of like the screen, basically the eye on the screen seeing us. It turning red could also be, as kind of Tericho said, kind of like an alert system. It's going, okay, predator or prey sort of thing. This person's a threat. It goes red and it kind of signals, maybe to Yarnaby specifically, or maybe to a whole bunch of the toys, this is a target, like hunt, whatever we're looking at here. It could be connected to the security cameras, and whoever's controlling the security cameras kind of is what goes, we're locking onto this. Or it could be an automated thing that's basically like registering, you are not toy, which means you need to go.
Although he looks more like a lion with his mane of yarn
He's cute.
and his claws. But once he opens his mouth, he looks like, well, a cross between the predator and the alien. But here is where things get really interesting. His mouth looks very similar to Boxy Boo's. This could make sense. We know Boxy was Harley Sawyer's first successful experiment, and Yarnaby was another one of his. This shows a sort of progression in design, but this jaw type seems to be Harley's signature style. But notice how this toy is
very the open, unhinged.
He isn't attacking them. He's opening his mouth, but he doesn't seem to be that aggressive.
That's what I said.
We learned recently in the ARG that Yarnaby is aggressive to all but one member of staff, Harley Sawyer. He used to be friendly to other security staff too, but, well, Harley made sure to put an end to that. When left alone, Yarnaby seems sad, dejected. But
So I didn't see this part. This report will ultimately serve as an echo of those prior. I report no change in the subject. Must be talking about Yarnaby. He eats little, lazes about in his cell, and performs substandard on all physical tests. With the removal of his master, 1166 appears lost. Despite Sawyer's apathy, the subject formed an attachment of sorts. Without whatever sense of comfort or stability that brought him, his motivation has been sapped. He sits, stares, listens, and only acts with aggression whenever I approach him. He truly just doesn't care anymore.
But if any of the other staff get near him, he turns aggressive. The only member of staff that could get close at this point was Sawyer.
That is
so
true.
Again, since this character seems to have gotten here before us, and now Yarnaby is getting close to them without acting aggressively, this just adds more weight to the theory.
Okay, let's go off the theory that Yarnaby is on Harley's side. That might mean that the little toys, so like the Poe up there, if that is the Poe, I'm going to have to look at Poe's character design again, but if that is him, it could mean that the nightmare critters are not on Harley's side, which makes sense. It seems like 1006 and Harley are on opposite sides here, and it's already shown that the smiling critters are on 1006's side. Out of fear or loyalty is very debatable. The nightmare critters could be the same, but then Yarnaby may be hunting them, maybe for Harley to harvest their parts. It could be on the security cameras, Ollie. This might be Ollie seeing Harley, not saying that that's Ollie's eyes specifically, but Ollie has had to see us on the security cameras. This was my big issue with being like Harley's in control of the cameras. Ollie was watching us all through chapter 3. He was sending us keys and things like that to help us throughout the thing. He must have been able to see us somehow. What if this is Ollie seeing Harley and then alerting to this is bad? Like the red eye that pops up being like, this is bad. I need to get in contact with Poppy and the player and let him know someone else is down there. And even putting the Poe up there, that could have been Yarnaby basically giving Harley an offering, like a pet bringing, like, I don't know if you guys have had dogs or anything, but sometimes dogs, even cats, I'm like, if we're going off a lion, we have cats. When they used to be let outside more often, they would find rats or mice or snakes, and they used to kill them and then drop them at our feet. This seems very similar to what a cat or dog would do as far as, hey, I killed this animal and I'm going to bring it back to my master, bring it back to the person that I love as a token of, here you go, I brought you a pet. I bought you a toy. I bought you something.
In fact, Yarnaby has been described several times now as an animal. The transfer process didn't seem to work completely, and Barnaby lost a lot of his high cognitive function.
Cute.
This is a running theme now. Many experiments failed, and it seems like Sawyer was trying to get the secret out of 1006. His own attempts to replicate this process were flawed. But the cheekiest clue here is this Poe. If Yarnaby is a lion, then he's a cat. And cats sometimes like bringing their owners gifts.
What did I say?
Mice or birds. Yes,
Yeah.
he brought Poe as a gift for his master. I think this trailer is really showing us Harley's return to this area of the factory. He distracted us with an attack on Kissy just long enough so he could get down here first. Now Yarnaby is greeting his owner like any pet who's been left alone for a long time with excitement. I mean, why would he go through all the trouble of setting up this dead Poe like this? He's had plenty of opportunity to attack this character, but he didn't. In fact, he even plays him a little song while he was stood right behind him. He could have easily pounced on them instead.
Pat.
And we know what the toys look like when they're aggressive. Speaking of that song, by the way, this does kind of tie into the Pianosaurus, as people are calling them. I think this chapter is going to have a musical element. But there are some more little clues in this trailer. In one of the cells, we can see what I first thought looked like a blood splatter. But looking more closely, it looks like a poppy has been painted on this wall. This could be related to the poppy outside of Poppy's room, or the one that we got on the letter at the start of the game. This might have even been 1006's cell, since we know he was locked up at one point and tried to escape. He did kill staff on this escape attempt, so perhaps he drew this poppy with their blood. We see the CCTV cameras down here are still active, and one of them follows Yarnaby as he walks around here. This is another hint to Harley Sawyer, who seems like he's been watching us from the very beginning. 1006 has been implied to have been watching us too. We get a hint that we will be visiting more caves down here. This is something that was shown in chapter 3, and it shows how unfinished this building really was. We now know that the company probably ran out of funding to finish the building, but it also gives us hints to how the toys could travel around the factory. Perhaps this is
through the cave
Playtime
system.
Managed to find so much natural gas. We see more of these storage containers with these box symbols on them.
Yeah.
This symbol is definitely going to be important as it's been showing up for a long time now. I definitely think that these containers were used to transport.
I wonder if I can read that with it that's out zoomed. Yeah, so weekly checkup 1166, who I'm going to assume is Barnaby. Oh god, now Tericho's got me saying it. Yarnaby. Noting behavioural changes and progression. This was done in 1994. So this and the 16th of the 10th. So 16th of October. So this was a couple of months, like nearly a year. I think it's like 10 months before the Hour of Joy. And okay, so the conclusions. The mind of an animal does not process grief in the same way as people. If a dog's master dies, it waits around at the same places and wanders where the scent is strong, thinking someday its master has to return. A hole forms in their life, and without higher processing, they must walk around it forever and simply allow themselves to fall in. But 1166 is not fully an animal, even if his mannerisms and behavioural characteristics suggest as much. Whatever boy there is deep inside, I think he's scared, broken down by isolation over too long a time for us to salvage much from what's still there. He was designed for one purpose and one purpose alone, a desire made flawed by paranoia and ego, in that he's a failure by design. Someone above my pay grade can decide what to do with him. For now, he can sulk and spend his days wishing for a master that I can guarantee you didn't care for him at all. Signature is Dr. Carmine McGabe, maybe? But either way, there is a boy in there, so there's proof that there was a human put in Yarnaby, but he obviously went into this deep depression and fear by not having his master, which seems to be Harley Sawyer, around.
I definitely think that these containers were used to transport toys around these areas, but they also seem to match up with the size of some of the cells, so perhaps they were used to transport prisoners. Finally, the TV with eyes is very creepy, but in terms of the story, it could be another massive hint. Eyes have been a symbol in this series for a very long time now, but we still have questions about Ollie and a group of people that spoke to us through a TV monitor in Project Playtime. Knowing the scientific process transfers humans into toy bodies, this could be a hint that humans were transferred into computers too. These eyes being a clue to that. Or maybe it's just supposed to show we are always being watched. Finally,
I think that's more likely.
Is the question, is Yarnaby going to be the main toy villain in Chapter 4?
I don't think so.
I actually don't think so. Usually it's the final trailer for each chapter that fully
That's what I
reveals
said
the main
as
toy
well.
villain. Mommy Longlegs was hinted at but only revealed in the final Chapter 2 trailer, and so was Catnap for Chapter 3. If Yarnaby was going to be this chapter's main toy, then this would be a much too early reveal for it.
I
We
agree.
haven't even had a full trailer yet, these are just both teasers. I think Yarnaby's going to be a side character like Dog Day or Mr. Light. After all, Chapter 3 had more toy enemies than ever before, so I bet they're going to continue that trend in Chapter 4. We still have more toys to be revealed yet. Game Theory covered that in their latest video, and we still have the theory
Doey
that
the
Harley
Doe
Sawyer
Man.
will finally show himself in this chapter as well.
I agree.
But that does leave me with the question. If Yarnaby is a side character and is this creepy, how bad is the main villain of Chapter 4?
He's cute until he opens his mouth.
I think this trailer is showing us far more than
Like
it
most men.
appears to. Either there are some huge
Don't get me in
plot holes
trouble.
here, or this person is not the playable character.
I don't think so.
Either way, I think it's safe to say now we are not the only person going to be down here.
I agree.
This trailer has me very excited for Chapter 4. Every time we get something new, I get just a little bit more excited. If you are enjoying the theory content on this channel, don't forget to like this video and maybe subscribe. if
Go
you'd
and
to
like
see
his video.
more. I will of course be making more Poppy Playtime content as well as some other games. There's a lot releasing lately. I have a lot of work to do, so
Okay, first things first. Please like and subscribe and comment down below what you guys think of this. Like, I agree with some of what he's saying. I disagree with others of what he's saying. I've kind of said that throughout the thing. Secondly, go to his channel, like this video, go and subscribe to him. His theories are just top notch in my opinion. But yeah, definitely go and check it out. I want to hear everyone's opinions on Yarnaby. I want to hear everyone's opinions on this trailer, and I want to hear everyone's opinions on the big bad. Do you think Yarnaby's going to be the big bad? Do you think Boxy is going to be the big bad? Or do you think it's going to be someone that we have not come across yet? So, thanks everybody so much for watching. I will leave, again, Tericho's channel and the video that I reacted to linked down in the description below. But, yeah, thank you everybody so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next theory. Bye everybody!